This is the screencast for the Unit 7 test for 8th grade Social Studies. To take this test, you're going to need to have out your Holt book, as well as any notes you might have that can help you. Remember, you can always use those. While I read this test, please feel free to pause what I say when you go look up your answers, to come back to anything, to listen to it as many times as you need to. Okay? So let's get it started. Question 1. Many Americans wanted George Washington to be president because he, page 234, A. passed the Judiciary Act of 1789, B. was seen as an honest leader, C. had a popular wife named Martha, or D. urged them to vote for him. So go ahead and go to page 234, select the answer that best fits, and then hit Next whenever you're ready. Question 2. The Electoral College is A, page 234, A, group of voters hand-picked for cabinet positions by the president-elect, group of delegates from each state that cast the deciding votes for president, C, school for the advanced study of voting practices and political campaigning, or D, name given to all voters who cast ballots in presidential elections. So go to page 234, look for the definition of Electoral College, and go ahead and select your best choice. When you're ready, go ahead and hit the Next button. Question 3. The Judiciary Act of 1789 was passed by President George Washington to set up a system of federal courts because he believed that the, page 236, A, stability and success of the national government depended on the interpretation and execution of laws, B, judicial branch was more important than the executive and legislative branches, C, problems of crime and violence could be prevented by extending the reach of the judicial branch, or D, executive and legislative branches would not have the time to make good judgments. Go ahead and go to page 236 in your text, select the answer that best fits, and hit the Next button whenever you're ready. Question 4. The national debt can best be defined as the amount of money owed to the nation by the nation's citizens in foreign countries, by the federal government to domestic debtors, to the federal government by individual states, or D, by the nation to foreign countries and the nation's citizens. So go ahead and go to page 238, select the answer that best fits, and hit the Next button whenever you're ready. Question 5. People who buy items at low prices and hope to sell them for a profit are called A, bondholders, B, investors, C, speculators, or D, representatives. Go ahead and select the answer that best fits after going to page 239. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and hit that Next button. Question 6. Which of the following issues did Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson agree? This is page 239 to 240. Did they agree on A, whether or not to limit the federal government, B, how to repay the value of bonds, C, whether or not to move the capital, or D, how to address the national debt? Go ahead and go to pages 239 and 240 and see what these two agreed on. Select the choice, and then go ahead and hit the Next button whenever you're ready. Question 7. Alexander Hamilton believed in flexible interpretation of the Constitution, while Thomas Jefferson believed in A, page 242, A, strict construction, B, loose construction, C, soft construction, or D, tight construction. Go to page 242, find out what type of interpretation Thomas Jefferson believed in. When you're ready, select your choice, and then hit the next button whenever you're set. Question 8. Loose construction is best defined as the idea that the, page 242, A. Congress need not be interpreted in the context of the whole. B. Federal government can take reasonable actions in special cases as long as they are not specifically forbidden by the Constitution. C. Constitution allows only necessary means to deal with new situations and should not be stretched merely because politicians find it convenient. Or D. The Constitution is flexible, enabling politicians to stretch it in order to deal with any new situations. So go to page 242 for the definition of loose construction. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and hit that next button. Question 9. George Washington's statement that America would not take sides in disputes between warring European countries was called the A. Swiss Pact, B. Neutrality Proclamation, C. Treaty of Greenville, or D. Peace Treaty of 1793. So go ahead and go to page 244 to look for your answer, select your choice, and whenever you're ready, hit the next button. Question 10. Pinckney's Treaty addressed settlers' disputes over the Florida border with which country? France, Spain, Britain, or Mexico? So go ahead and go to page 245 to find out what this treaty dealt with. Select your choice, and when you're ready, hit the next button. Question 11. The main threat faced by Americans in the Northwest Territory was, page 246, A. Native American attacks on supply lines into the territories, B. Harsh winter conditions and inadequate forts, C. The Native American tribes supplied guns and ammunition by the British, or D. Tornadoes that destroyed much of the farmland. So go to page 246, look for the main threat in the Northwest Territory, and when you're ready, hit the next button. Question 12. How did the Whiskey Rebellion end? Page 247. A. Tax collectors tarred and feathered the rebels before Washington's army arrived. B. Most of the rebels formed a militia and battled Washington's army. C. The rebels hid their stores of whiskey before Washington's army arrived. Or D. Most of the rebels fled before Washington's army arrived. So go ahead and go to page 247, find out how the Whiskey Rebellion ended, and whenever you're ready, hit that next button. Question 13. Which of the following contributed to the Whiskey Rebellion? Page 247. A. The federal government was overprotective of the settlers. B. Farmers found whiskey difficult to transport. C. Spain was blocking trade along the Mississippi River. Or D. Farmers couldn't afford the tax on whiskey. Please go to page 247, select your choice, and when you're ready, please click Next. Question 14. Which of these slogans might a Federalist have shouted at a party rally? Page 250. A. Jefferson for President. B. Central Government for All. C. Power to the People. Or D. States Rule. So go to page 250, find out a little more about the Federalists, select your choice, and hit Next when you're ready. Question 15. The first political party division in the United States was between A. The Democratic Republicans and Federalists, B. Liberals and Conservatives, C. Federalists and Royalists, or D. Democrats and Republicans. So go ahead and go to page 250, look for that answer, and hit Next when you're ready. Question 16. How was a vice president chosen in 1796? This is on pages 250 to 251. Was he the presidential candidate who came in second? Was he appointed by the president-elect? Did he run alongside the candidate, or was he elected by popular vote? Go to page 250 to find your answer and hit the next button when you're ready. Question 17. During the presidency of John Adams, 3 French agents would discuss a treaty with the United States only in exchange for a bribe. The incident became known as the, page 252, XYZ affair, XYZ event, ABC talks, or ABC incident. So go to page 252, look for your answer, and then select your choice whenever you're ready. Question 18. The Alien and Sedition Acts were passed by the Federalists to protect the government from critics, to punish French speakers, to imprison foreigners, or to increase government power. Go to page 253 to look for your answer, find it, and then hit next when you're ready. Question 19. The blank college is the body of electors that represents the peopleless vote in choosing president. Is it the Electoral College or the Democratic College? Go to page 234 to find out, type your choice in, and hit next when you're set. Question 20. The new federal government in America took actions intended to set an example for the future. In George Washington's words, these exemplary actions would serve to establish a... Would they establish a precedent, or would they establish a mandate? Go to page 235 to find out and hit the next button when ready. The blank can best be defined as the amount of money owed by a foreign nation to foreign countries and to the nation's citizens. Is this the gross domestic product or the national debt? Go to page 238 to find out and hit next when ready. Question 22. Thomas Jefferson believed in an interpretation of the Constitution known as blank construction. Was it strict construction or loose construction? Go to page 242 to look your answer up, select your choice, and when you're ready, click Next. George Washington's statement that America would not take sides in disputes between warring European countries was called the... Was it called the Great Compromise or the Neutrality Proclamation? Go to page 244 to look it up and hit the Next button when you found it and typed it in. Page 24, or question 24. In 1790, before General Anthony Wayne took command of the American Army in the West, Miami Chief Blank successfully led an alliance of Native Americans against U.S. forces. Was that Tecumseh, or was that Little Turtle? Go ahead and select your answer after looking on page 246. Question 25. President George Washington personally led the militia against the offenders during blank because he believed people needed to understand the constitutional right of Congress to institute tax laws. So, did George Washington lead a militia during the Whiskey Rebellion or Bacon's Rebellion? Go to page 247 to look for your answer, type it in, and hit Next when ready. The blank, which declared the Alien and Sedition Acts unconstitutional, supported the idea that state governments could challenge the federal government. Was this the Missouri and Indiana decisions, or the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions? Go to page 253 to look up your answer, type it in, and hit Next, and we'll be on our last question. For our final question on today's test, you need to tell me why President George Washington believed it was important to pass the Judiciary Act of 1789, which set up a system of federal courts. So go to page 236 to learn a little more about this Judiciary Act and tell me why it was important in the space provided. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Once you've hit the Next button, you're going to see your normal end of test screen. Make sure to hit Submit All and Finish. Good luck, you've got this.